Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to anyone that is viewing this video. I want to make this video because this is something that I want to get off my chest. And I'm just going to roll with the punches and I'm just going to say whatever comes to my mind. And if I offend anyone, I'm sorry, but this is just my opinion. Honestly, I really pray that one day that I really pray that one day we all just come together as one and we just stop the hate and stop the violence and just stop all of the killings. And I really pray that one day nobody will see black or white or Hispanic or Mexican, that nobody sees anyone for their color. We just see everyone as equal people. I just really pray that that happens one day because I am getting tired of cutting on the news and seeing something about someone getting killed every single time. It's really sickening and it's really, really getting annoying and irritating. I just heard a story about a man in Dallas, a black man in Dallas that got shot by the police and he wasn't even armed apparently. And honestly, to me, this is not really, it's not so much about the black man, a black man getting shot. That's not really what it's really about to me. This is just about, this is this is more so about people being targeted for certain reasons. Now, I don't know the whole story and I don't know why this man was gunned down. I don't know why he was even approached. Now, it could have been a racial thing. They could have targeted him for a biased racial reason because lots of blacks are being targeted for their color. And not only that, I'm black as well. So I'm not denying the fact that blacks don't get targeted because lots of blacks are getting targeted. But the reason why I said that this is more than just about him being black is because it just seems that, in a way, it seems that history is kind of repeating itself. Because see, we didn't have this issue until um, we didn't have this issue until I think after Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown was killed. I think after Mike Brown was killed, then that's when all the Black Lives Matter movement had started. I am not really a Black Lives Matter type person because I kind of see further than just a Black Lives Matter movement. It's more than just a Black Lives Matter movement because a lot of people that support the Black Lives Matter, some of them tend to miss the bigger picture of what is really going on in the world besides it being a racial thing. They're only seeing it as it being a racial thing, but I feel it's more than just a racial thing. I feel that there's something going on within the system that is targeting certain people of a certain nationality or a certain race, and I feel that there's a certain code that is within the system, and I feel that there's something that's going on that we don't know about. Like I feel that there's something deeper to the situation than what we really know. Now, I was on Twitter the other day, and there was a lot of people that were. I'm sure you guys know who Bow Wow is. He was a rapper at one time, or he's still a rapper, I think. Well, anyway, he's a celebrity. So, and people were like attacking him on Twitter, and I was trying to figure out why were people attacking Bow Wow on Twitter, and I wasn't really understanding like why they were attacking him, and Bow Wow was like making certain tweets and certain posts, and he was talking about, oh well, I guess they want me to speak on this issue and yada 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 and all this other stuff. So I just assumed that he was talking about the Dallas thing. I assumed that he was talking about what had happened there. So that's why I assumed what he was talking about. And then he's posting regular pictures on Instagram, and then people are just like basically talking about how his career is dead, and they're saying and they're just saying all this type of negative stuff just to tear him down, and they're just being really hostile towards him and antagonistic, and I'm just not understanding, like, and I'm just like, okay, first of all, what makes people think in their mind that they can roam through someone's social media page and have some kind of power to force them to do something? He doesn't owe you guys no explanation. Just because he's black, you feel that he is supposed to owe you explanation? He ain't the one that killed him. I mean, I understand that you want him to speak out about something, but see, just because someone doesn't speak out about something, that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't care. He's not really obligated to speak out on something that he's not comfortable speaking out on. Now, I feel bad, and honestly, my condolences go out to the family. And honestly, like, I really am sorry that their family is suffering that much heartache and that much pain, because I cannot, like, when I tell you, I don't think I can't even imagine how I would feel if this happened to one of my family members, like my dad or one of my older brothers or something. I can't even imagine like how I would feel if something like that was to happen. Like, I really don't know, because I don't really know how that feels. But all I can say is that my heart really does go out to them. Now I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I know how you feel. Well, no, I can't really tell them I know how they feel, because I really don't know how they feel. But what I can tell them is that I do know what pain feels like. And I do know what heartache feels like when someone leaves you. Because I did lose a family member, not to that type of violence, but I have lost family members before, and I know what pain feels like, so I can feel their pain. I may not know how it feels to lose someone to that type of violence, but I know what that type of pain feels like, and I really pray and I really hope that they are able to stick together and really fight for what's right. And there's a lot of there's a lot of different marchings that's going on, which is nothing wrong with that, because if you're tired of the injustices that's going on within the system, which, as I said earlier, there is a lot of injustices that's going on within the system, then we need to stand up for what's right, and we need to stand up for what is really going on. Not just for a Black Lives Matter type of thing, because to me, I feel that in a way that sometimes backfires when someone is throwing up a Black Lives Matter sign, because that's almost saying that every time a black person gets in trouble, or every time a black person ends up getting locked up in jail, or every time a black person ends up getting hurt, then it seems like a riot is always going to start. And to me, I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, I feel that Black Lives Matter, I feel like this is more than just a black life mattering. I feel that, regardless if someone is black or whatever, I mean, it's bad enough as it is that this is a black man that's gotten shot down, because there's so many other black men that have gotten shot down, which is terrible. And and as I said earlier, there's a certain code that's going on within the system that is targeting us, that is targeting people. And honestly, it's terrible, and something needs to be done about it. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys a little short story. I think back in 2010, I believe. I think it was around 2010. So we're talking what, 6 years ago? Cause I'm 26 now. I'm I'm about to be 26. My birthday is in about, it's like on the 27th of this month. So I'm just saying I'm 26 now. So we're speaking 6 years ago. Um, I was at a park. I was always going to a park right up the street from me. I would always ride my bike up there. This was before I had a car. and I would always ride my bike up there. Sometimes I would walk to the park, and I would spend like the whole day down there, just having the day to myself. And one day I had stayed down there for a long period of time until it got dark outside. I can't remember exactly what time it was, but I know it was a little late. If I was to take a guess, I would probably say it was maybe somewhere around, because it was really dark. So I'm assuming maybe around 10 o'clock at night, maybe around 9 or 10 o'clock at night, because it was dark outside. And I was leaving the swing set, and I was on my bike, and then I realized, oh my God, I forgot my phone case. And plus I wasn't ready to leave yet anyway, so I went over there and I was looking for my phone case. And I couldn't find it. And I was just walking around looking for my phone case, and I finally found it. So then I sat on the slide and I was doing something on my phone. I was typing some stuff in there. So then I seen some people like in the school, because the school also sits on the park. It's like a little preschool. And I was riding my bike. I was getting ready to leave, and then all of a sudden I seen a cop. It was a white cop. He had pulled in, and he was shining lights over there. So I kind of stood back a little bit, and I kind of stood behind the slide, because at first I was saying to myself, okay, is he looking for me? Like, like I kind of had the feeling that he was looking for me. So I was thinking, okay, somebody done called the cops on me. Someone called the cops on me. So I kind of stood there a little bit, and I was kind of waiting for him to, go away. So he circled back around, and then he went the other way, and I noticed that he was turning back around. So then I said, okay, you know what? Let me just hurry up and leave, because I don't want no problems. So I was getting my bicycle, and I was walking out. And then I heard the police officer. He circled back around, and he was asking somebody. He says, "Yeah, did you know? Yeah, I got a call that there was that there was a young man over there or something like that." I overheard him saying that. So as I was walking, then the cop had caught up to me, and then he asked me. He said, "Excuse me, sir, were you the young man that was just over there?" I said, "Yeah, I was going back to get my wallet, and I kind of stayed there for a little bit." And I was explaining to him, and I didn't do any sudden movements. I just stood there. I was respectful. I answered this question. And he was just saying, okay, well, can I see your ID? I said, yeah. And I was reaching in my pocket. And then he was like, okay, just keep your hands where I can see them. Like I remember him saying, keep your hands where I can see them. So I just kept my hands down like that, and I gave my ID. And I just stood there, and I kept my hands down by my side. I didn't argue with him. I didn't get mad. But deep down, I kind of was irritated, and I was upset, and I was angry, because someone called the police on me, and I felt that was unnecessary. I mean, I understand. I mean, I can understand that they were concerned, and that they were wondering, okay, what are these people doing on my ground? But for you to automatically call the police on me, and I wasn't even nowhere near the doorway trying to get in, and you're just seeing me there, like, I mean, I don't know. I just felt some type of way. So, um, so after the cop had checked my ID, he says, "Oh, I see you live right up the street," and I said, "Yeah," and then he told me, he says, "Okay, I'm gonna give you a little piece of advice. You can't come back over here around this time of night anymore, because apparently the guy in there, he was afraid, and he was feeling some type of way." And in my mind, I'm saying to myself, really? Seriously? You know? And I was like, okay, so then he told me, so he let me go, and he told me to go home. And then this was a white cop, And like I said, at this time I was a teenager. I was about 19 at the time, I believe. Um, it had to have been the summer, because I remember wearing a white tank top, so it had to be in the summer. And that was pretty much it after that. But I was nervous, like I was scared, because nothing like that ever happened to me before. And I was extremely nervous. Like I was so nervous to where my legs were literally shaking, because I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, I was thinking I was about to get in trouble. I was thinking I was going to get locked up. I was thinking I was going to go to prison. I didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, just imagine a young black kid in the middle of the night, in the middle of a big vacant parking lot, and you and the police officer are the only two there. Anything can happen. It's just scary. It's just scary. But the police officer, he was really nice. You know, he was very considerate, and he just told me to go home. And I was just really happy about that. And ever since then, I haven't done it. I haven't went back there ever since. But of course, you know, many years pass. I have a car now, so yeah, it's just crazy. But that's just my experience, like with the cop. I've seen other stories where other people had other experiences with cops, and honestly, it was pretty ridiculous. It was like really, really crazy. It's just. But I just feel that, you know, something needs to be done about this, because for this to keep going on and on and on, like, I just don't. It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. You know, like, people just have to. Like, I feel that the first root of this problem is to stop the hate, to stop the racism, to stop the discrimination. It has to stop on both sides. It can't just stop on one side. It has to stop on both sides. It has to stop on both sides. I feel that that's the first step that we need to take. But is it ever going to get better? That's something to think about. Let me know your comments below.